The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Part 4. Law 29. Plan all the way to the end. Always planned until the end. This means thinking through every possibility that could prevent you from reaching your end goal. Thus, you will be able to accommodate for any surprises along the way and secure your future. Most people are too trapped by their emotions in the moment to see ahead, so this will give you the upper hand. Plan in detail before you act, and don't succumb to making any vague plans. Your end goal must always be crystal clear. Law 30. Make your accomplishments seem effortless. Make your success seem easy. Conceal all the toil and tricks you use to attain it, as it otherwise arouses too much curiosity in others. Never reveal how you reached your position of power to anyone, or they may use it against you. There are great advantages to remaining silent. The more mysterious your actions appear, the greater your power appears to be. It will make it seem as if you have an exclusive gift that no one can replicate and that knows no limits. Law 31. Control the options. Get others to play with the cards you deal. By giving your opponents a choice, they will feel that they're controlling their destiny. What they won't realize is that you're using them as a puppet to choose between two scenarios, both of which serve you. When given a choice between two possibilities, people rarely consider all the other potential options that could be on the table. Instead, they blindly choose to believe they have autonomy in their decision-making. Too much freedom creates anxiety. By setting up a narrow range of choices, you can guide your opponent to play right into your hands. Law 32. Play into people's fantasies. As the truth is often ugly, if you appeal to it, you risk being bombarded with the anger of disenchantment. Instead, by tapping into the fantasies of the masses, people will flock to you as you offer an alternative to the disillusionment of reality. By observing which aspects of everyday life are most abhorred, you can conjure up fantasies that promise the opposite of people's current realities and thus wield a phenomenal power. Law 33. Discover each man's thumbscrew. Find your opponent's weakness. This is often an insecurity, an untamed emotion or desire, or sometimes a secret pleasure. To do so, look for the following. Instances when they behave like a child, which indicates some unresolved trauma in childhood. Contrasts as an overt trait often conceals its opposite, i.e., arrogance is often hiding insecurity. The weak link, which is often someone behind the scenes controlling their behavior. Ways to fill the void of their insecurity or unhappiness to wield significant power. How to encourage their uncontrollable emotion, as they won't be able to control themselves, and you can do the controlling for them. Law 34. Be royal in your own fashion. Act like a king to be treated like one. How you present yourself to the world will reflect how others see and treat you. Carry yourself with self-respect, confidence, and dignity to make it seem like you are destined for power. We must make ourselves demand and expect as much as a young child. Believe you are destined for greatness, and this belief will radiate outwards and others will believe it. 2. Ask for less, and that is exactly what you'll get. Law 35. Master the art of timing. Never seem to be in a rush. Patience is a virtue. Learn to bide your time and only strike when the timing is right. As time is a perception, by mastering your emotions, you can make time seem to move more slowly and lengthen your perception of the future. This allows you to become more patient and to see the bigger picture. Law 36. Disdain things you cannot have. Ignoring them is the best revenge. The less interest you take in things that irritate you, the more superior you seem. By acknowledging your enemy, you give their existence credibility and, therefore, power. Paradoxically, the more you want something, the more it eludes you as your interest is too strong, which makes others feel uncomfortable and fearful. Occasionally, it's best just to leave things alone. By turning your back on what you want, you will drive your opponents crazy. Law 37. Create compelling spectacles. By generating grand, spectacular gestures, you will heighten your presence and your power. People will be too dazzled by appearances to uncover what you're really up to. As opposed to using words, visual gestures contain an emotive power and immediacy that leave no room for doubt. Where words divide, images unite. Use this to your advantage. Law 38. Think as you like, but behave like others. By consistently going against the grain in public, people will begin to resent you for making them feel inferior. Practice blending in and hiding your true feelings to nurture the common touch. By doing so, you'll be left alone to express your true beliefs in a targeted manner. Once a base of power is established, you can then begin to disseminate your beliefs gradually, and they are more likely to be adopted. Law 39. Stir up waters to catch fish. If you can stay calm while infuriating your opponents, you can gain an advantage. By finding their weaknesses, you can disturb them and play with them at will. The more angry they become, the more ridiculous they will appear. This will reduce their power. Law 40. Despise the free lunch. Never trust anything that comes for free. Anything of worth is worth paying for. Most things that come for free come with a burdensome psychological price task. By paying, you avoid falling into the trap of having to be grateful, guilty, or deceitful. Further, being lavish with your money is a sign of power. Generosity softens up your opponents into being deceived. Law 41. Avoid stepping into a great man's shoes. What came first always seems more original than what follows. Don't get lost in the shadows of those that came before you. You must establish your own name and identity by not following the same course of your predecessors. Law 42. Strike the shepherd, and the sheep will scatter. All trouble can usually be traced back to one individual. By rooting out this individual and preventing them from operating, you will stop their influence. Don't waste time, or their influence will multiply. In every group, power is concentrated around one or two people. Consequently, understanding who controls the group is critical. This is made more challenging, as troublemakers prefer to disguise their actions. Isolate their power, however, and they become redundant. Law 43. Work on the hearts and minds of others. If people feel coerced into acting in a specific way, they will resent you. Instead, you must seduce others so that they act how you want without you having to ask them. By understanding their psychology and their weaknesses, you can play with their emotions and conquer their hearts and minds so that they are loyal to you. By softening them up, you can slowly bend people towards your will without them realizing. Law 44. Disarm and infuriate with the mirror effect. By mirroring your opponents and doing exactly as they do, you humiliate them and cause them to overreact. By making them believe you share their values, they find it challenging to work out your strategy, as they are blinded by your mirror. You are also able to teach your opponents a lesson by giving them a taste of their own medicine. Law 45. Preach the need for change, but never reform too much at once. If you have recently entered a position of power or are an outsider trying to make a claim for it, respect the way people have been living up until this point. Too much change will engender a revolt. To introduce change, make it seem like a gradual and gentle improvement on the past. Law 46. Never appear too perfect. While appearing superior to others is dangerous, to appear faultless and without weakness is even more perilous. By displaying harmless vices, you prevent envy from developing, and you make yourself appear more approachable. By letting envy fester, it can manifest in a host of problematic ways that will ultimately try to rob you of your power. Stop it in its tracks by making yourself seem powerful, but not faultless. Law 47. Don't go past the mark you aimed for. In victory, learn when to stop. Don't let success go to your head. The moment you achieve victory is often when you're at your most vulnerable. Don't get ahead of yourself with your overconfidence and push beyond your initial target. This could create more enemies than you are capable of defeating. There can be no substitute for meticulous strategic planning. Once you reach your goal, stop. Law 48. Assume formlessness. By being tangible, you open yourself up to attack. To be malleable, adaptable, and on the move makes you ungraspable. Accept that everything, everywhere changes, and embody this truth. By being as fluid as water, you protect yourself from the ever-shifting nature of reality. By refusing to adapt and to change, you fail to evolve and your power will be usurped. The powerful are constantly adapting, and their power comes from the speed at which they can change. Thank you all for supporting us.